Major fracture detected.
Hello everybody! Today I wanted to do something a little different. Given Ubisoft's promise at the last Munich Major back in November, we should be looking at a balance patch in the next couple of days. And I thought it would be a little fun thought exercise to make some predictions on what could happen. But I'll also sprinkle in a few changes that I would personally like to see. I did try to stay away from characters that I think need more major reworks in the future, like Doc, who probably should get a buff right now, but probably can't. So it probably needs to be put in the rework pipeline, so to speak. Let's start with some of the fun changes that I would like to see, and then we'll move more into some of the more controversial changes I think we might see. First off, I think it's time for Cade to get a third claw. I think Thatcher is very strong, but instead of going the boring route and lowering Thatcher's EMP amount, I think that the rest of the game should catch up to Thatcher instead. Starting with Cade, who's pretty much been obliterated by Thatcher this season. I think a third claw not only helps him with Thatcher slightly, but it also opens up more interesting strategies. We got electrified castles this season, but you can't really afford to throw your claws on castles when walls need to be electrified first. Another change I would love to see is for Raora. You've seen from my videos, my stack and I love to use Raora for flank watch. But she struggles a bit in that role. So I think if Ubisoft gave her dom panels some sort of alarm or noise when they're opened, so that people get alerted to them, I think this is simple, yet it changes up Raora's roles a lot, and I think it would make her a lot more fun to put her in a team comp. And while we're still on Raora, give the Reaper a little less horizontal recoil. It's a lot better since it's buff, but it's still a little bit unwieldy. The next one comes directly from my Twitch chat. I stream Siege almost every single day. You should totally go over there. We have a lovely community there, and I'd love to see you there. And I think this change makes perfect sense. Yana is a weird operator. She appears as an operator that's meant to deceive enemies, but there is zero downside to shooting her clones as a defender. In fact, there is an upside for a defender to shoot the clone, given that the cooldown for Yana becomes much longer. So, adding some sort of downside to shooting the Gemini, similar to Yoru's clones from Valorant, like flashing the defender who shoots them, or at the very least, pinging them. I think that opens up a similar playstyle like what with Alibi has, where you, as Yana, could fake being the clone, which would be really fun and interesting to play, in my opinion. And since I just mentioned Alibi, she probably has one of the worst gadgets on the defensive side right now. There's many operators that fulfill awareness roles way better, but she still has a nice kit. Her gadget just needs a little bit more oomph. And I think it would be interesting if her prismas could actually react and turn towards enemies in their view to simulate someone flicking onto them. I think this would add more life to her gadgets, and it would make it a little bit more likely for people to actually shoot the prismas. Now, let's move over to Thorn. I think Thorn gadgets should give a slight bleed debuff if someone is hit by them. Similar to what Frostmats do if you get out of them yourself. But it should only last a few seconds, not 60. For Castle, I think he got pretty hard with the fact that he lost ACOG. The other operators have managed somewhat fine without it, but he kind of needs it for a major playstyle of his, which is just to hold long-range angles, right? So I would love to see Castle get the TCSG shotgun with an ACOG on it. Moving over to Ella, I think Ella should lose impacts. I think her kit is overloaded with shield breaks. She has 5 of them. Don't get me wrong, shields are very strong right now, but I don't like that there's a one-woman army shield counter that requires no skill to counter shields. And for our final defender change, Mute should counter Grim again, because that change made no sense. Let's talk about sense. I've hated Sense ever since they removed the interactions from Sense's gadget. Siege is a team play focused game, and having gadgets that don't synergize with anyone and gets countered by nothing is honestly boring as fuck. So I would love to see that Glass and Warden could see through the ROU again. You can keep the whole block on cameras that would see through smoke, as it could work akin to an observation blocker. Moving over to Osa, who I think should get the Glaive 12. I love playing Osa, but I do find myself many times needing soft destruction done to play off of my shields. And I don't think she should get a proper secondary shotgun. I think that would overload her kit a little bit too much. But this sort of semi option that is available through the Glaive 12, I think it could do wonders. Delete Dokkaebi from the game. And BB, I think, should lose nades and gain either flashbangs or smokes. I think having the lethal flushing option with the frag grenades and then you could just shoot off of them, I think it's way too strong. And I think BB could still be tuned down just a little bit. And I think frags needs to go. And for our final controversial, albeit necessary and not necessarily unlikely changes that we might see, the SMG-12 will probably get a slight vertical recoil nerf. The gun is an absolute plague. It is absolutely everywhere. It is abused by recoil scripters and Cronus users, and I would not be surprised if in the very near future we see Ubisoft tackle this gun one way or another. And speaking of recoil nerfs, I think that is probably one of the likely ways that we will see Ubisoft tackle the DMR meta that we're in currently. It's not very unlikely to see team comps with only DMRs nowadays because they're just that good. They can two-shot pretty much any operator. They have long range due to ACOG, and I think they should keep the ACOG because that's kind of what those guns are supposed to be able to do. But I wouldn't be mad if they had an actual recoil akin to something like the TCSG, where it's still manageable, but you actually have to put in some level of effort, which, let's be real, DMRs have zero recoil nowadays. They really don't. They don't. So I don't think that would be too far-fetched, and I think that's probably the best way that they could tune the DMRs down a little bit without making them unplayable or anything. I think they just need a little bit of effort to wield. And this next one, I don't expect Ubisoft to do it, but I would personally love to see it for the way that I play Siege. And I think that footsteps should just be slightly louder across the board. 3 speeds, 2 speeds, 1 speeds, all footsteps should be louder. Obviously, if you're slow walking, that's one thing. But I think if you're just running overall, I think your footsteps should be louder, period. I think this solidifies Siege's tactical nature better, as it encourages you actually holding positions instead of just running around like a headless chicken. And that's kind of my predictions slash wish list thing. I'd recorded my thing this morning where I made a prediction on what the patch notes were gonna be. Little did I know that Ubisoft actually planned to release them today and not tomorrow, which was my guess. But I'm gonna check the patch notes now. I haven't seen them yet, so we're just gonna react to them together. And we'll see what the hell is going on. Alright. Here we go. Okay, so we get something with Thorn. I did put Thorn in my predictions for like a little bit of a buff. So let's see here. So what are they doing? They want to make the Razor Bloom stronger. So they activate faster. Okay. And she gets more shells for more coverage. Okay. They lower the lethal range a little bit, but that's fine. Like, usually when I play Thorn, I tend to stack them anyways. And they added a 15-second survivor penalty that adds a bleed and slows movement, similar to Frost's welcome mats when silver mode. This was in my prediction. This is what I wanted them to do. Dude. This is exactly what I said in my prediction video. So that's really cool. I predicted that shit. Hell yeah. Okay, so they buffed her more than I thought though. Wait, that's actually sick. Okay, so they trigger way faster now. Holy shit. Prediction? It was genuinely a prediction. Although, in Ubisoft's defense, I have suggested this change to developers. So, fair. But still, cool, nonetheless. But yeah, dude, they activate more than twice as fast. But they also deal 55 less damage. And also like a smaller zone. But how many does she have? She has 4. And you're slowed for 15 seconds. That's actually a lot. Alright, I mean, that's cool. That's a cool buff for Thorn. I like that. I didn't expect them to buff her this much. This is gonna be really, really fun to play with, for sure. Hell yeah. Okay, so we got Mozzie. Mozzie gets the super shorty back. Okay, I know some people are gonna be really happy about that. And honestly, it's nice. Getting a little bit more flexibility. It's good. It's good. I think a lot of people are gonna be very happy about that one. They are doing something with Echo. Echo gets a 3rd yokai. Bruh.
Damn.
Oh yeah, let me zoom in a little bit. A 3rd yokai, that's kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure at that point, if they don't destroy your yokais, you could just permanently cycle them, right? Like the first yokai will get its charge back by the time you fire the 3rd yokai's charges, right? That's kind of, I mean, it's nice. That's pretty nuts. That's actually really good for our bar and stage hold on Clubhouse. I mean, it's also less, like, more forgiving. Like, you could use one of your Echo drones more aggressive and still have, like, 2 on site or whatever. So, like, you could play, like, a hard support Echo and use one of your drones to, like, drone around your roamers and stuff. Which is also good against shield operators. So, that's kind of nice. So, is that just... That's all the... Oh, no, it's not all of the operator changes. Okay. But yeah, just directly use 3 buffs. Okay. Echo drones are not invisible anymore now. Alright, what do we have here? Okay, so they make Osa deploy her shield faster. I mean, that's nice. I still would want her to get the glaive, though. Just to be able to make some level of, like, soft breach would be nice. Even if it's not the best soft breach. Like, something like the Bailey for the glaive 12 would be awesome for her IMO. But it's nice. I'm not mad about this change. Like, as an Osa player, this is very nice. For sure. The shield will start protecting you a lot earlier now when you try to place it, so I'm happy about that. We get something for Capitao. The Capitao fire now burns longer. That's nice. Yeah. That's cool. Lion gets an increased scan duration. Okay, so a little bit sort of like larger window to do things. Yeah, this is really good for post-plant. Both of these changes, yeah. Really good for post-plant. Dude, you could go like a post-plant meta. Just try to rush the plant down and play Capitao Lion. Yeah, good luck retaking. Capitao can just burn off the diffuser for 26 seconds. Although Lion was like 5, if I remember. Yeah. It was pretty long. But it's nice. I think it's cool. Yeah. Okay, Maestro. Increased Evil Eye battery life. Okay, so you can zap for longer. And it affects the recharge duration since they are the same value. I mean, this is... meh. Right? This doesn't really do much. Because most of the time, you're not going to fire the full 8 seconds or whatever. Right? You will close or turn away your Maestro long before you fire the full 6 seconds. Let alone 8 seconds. The only time you ever fire the full duration is if it's like 000 on the clock and the guy is trying to stick the plant and maybe you run out of battery life. It's like a Monty or something. So in that very fringe scenario, then yeah, this is like a buff. But over than that, this doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole Bravo thing, like obviously you can ban it, and I think more people should play observation blockers on Maestro if they want to counter Bravo or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this buff doesn't really do much, IMO. It's kind of meh. It's kind of meh. It's a Bravo buff. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if anything, it's a buff for Bravo. Yeah, true. All right. Jackal gets an increased scanning range. Oh, yeah, so you can just scan feet from 4 meters further away. Tarantino mode. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's neat. I assume... Oh, wait, so they want you to scan from below again? Okay. I mean, that's neat. Yeah, that's neat. Not complaining. And something with the UMP. I did have a change for Castle in my prediction video, but I don't think it's going to be getting the ACOG back on the UMP45. I didn't predict that either, but yeah, it was another change. But yeah, the UMP has fallen behind a little bit. So they're increasing the damage to 42 from 38 and improved lateral recoil. Is that horizontal recoil? What is lateral recoil? I mean, it hits a little bit harder. I think that's okay. I think the UMP should hit a little bit harder since it's a slower rate of fire. Every base armor type will be downed with 3 bullets now. I mean, a 3-speed will be killed in 3 shots, no? 42, 84. Yeah, and yeah, you'll be over 120 damage. So you'll kill a 3-speed in 3 bullets now instead of downing in 3 bullets. And yeah, you can play extended barrel on it, so you can hit for 47 damage. That's kind of pog actually. Okay. Not what I would have expected them to do, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. The fact that you can also run it with extended barrel and it's 47 with extended barrel is that becomes like one of the more hard-hitting guns on defense now. At least that's like full auto. Lateral means side to side. Okay, so horizontal recoil. I didn't really feel like the UMP45 has that much horizontal recoil, so I guess it's just gonna be like amazing now instead. Sure. Alright, okay. Okay. Okay, they did no nerfs though, right? That's not a single nerf. It's literally just buffs. Okay. They're not touching the DMRs, they're not touching the SMD12, they're just doing buffs. Yeah, and then there's bug fixing and yada yada yada. AI operators. Fucking clankers. Roger. Okay. Hey. I am excited for tomorrow. I am going to be playing Thorn all day tomorrow. And we're gonna experiment with that. I'll be live streaming it, of course, over on the Twitch. So, you know, if you're not there, you should be there. Oh, Echo might be fun too. I will play Osa. I think tomorrow is gonna be like an Osa Thorn day. For sure. No test server, no nothing. It's just gonna go raw dog on live. And then we get a new event on the 21st. But yeah, this is releasing tomorrow. It's pretty exciting, honestly. Pretty exciting. I'm excited for this. That's it for that. Cool. See you tomorrow.